So, and they surrender. It seems they don't enjoy this very much. Hello YouTube, welcome to Fine Day. Today we are going to have a look at Kenrith, the Returned King. Is how Brawl. This deck aims to win by playing shrines and just getting immense value out of them. This specific deck is a budget deck list, and what do I mean by that? I mean that apart from the commander, I have exactly 5 rares and no mythics whatsoever in this deck. So this deck is pretty cheap to get going. So the basic gist is play shrines. One of our rares is, well, the best shrine of them, Sanctum of All, and the other 4 rares are basically just tutored to get this one shrine. This basically makes it so you, at the beginning of the upkeep, you just grab a shrine out of your deck or graveyard or wherever, put it onto battlefield, and you're happy. The reason why we play Kenrith is because we need a commander with a 5-color identity, and we're gaming the Q algorithm a bit, because if we play something like Golos or Essica, we are placed against much stronger decks, or other stronger commanders, to be specific. And I think Kenrith is still just an amazing, value engine, and if you're ramping, which shrine decks also kind of want to do, Kenrith has a lot of payoff. He can keep you alive against aggro by just gaining a ton of life, which is pretty relevant as well. And that is why we chose Kenrith. So to get around the only basically commons and uncommons restriction of the deck, we have a bunch of ways to ramp ourselves in any color. So what that means is I play Drove of the Mighty, I play Elysian Caryatid, Into the North. Those all fix our colors. That's why we can afford to have this very cheap mana base. We're playing all the Snow Duels, and we are playing one of each snow basics. The reason why is because we have Into the North, grabbing snowlands from the deck, but we're mostly getting duels because they enter tapped. And sometimes you want to have an untapped land with Search for Glory, and then you want to search for a basic, right? So that is the reason why we play one of each snow basic as well. The reason why we don't go full snow is to play around Redain, basically. That makes it so it's a meta card that makes it so that our snowlands enter the battlefield tapped. Other than that, again, staying alive is the name of the game, and that's why we are heavy on black removal. We don't have access to any board wipes, because those are basically all rares and mythics, so that is kind of unfortunate. And we also basically kept blue and red to a minimum. Basically, this is a draw spell, which I think is worth it in the deck. You could basically replace this with anything else. I just, like Chemist's Insight for total amounts of cards. This is a shrine, this is a shrine, then this is a red shrine, this is a red shrine, right? And then Open the Omen Pass is a ritual, and we can only spend this mana on creature or enchantments, but guess what? We want to play expensive enchantments, so that kind of works out. Thought Distortion is a pretty great card to go through control matchups. So for example, if we Grim Tutor, they say, okay, I'm just going to counter what comes out of that Grim Tutor, and then they can't counter it, and they basically exile their whole hand, which is extremely amazing. Yeah, I don't think there is too much to say there about all of this. We want run one counter spell because Wash Away is extremely efficient at 1 mana, and we are not going to keep up mana very often. So 1 mana is the maximum I want to pay for a counterspell, really, and Wash Away is just really good at doing what it wants to do. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this budget deck list. If you do, please consider liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and if you don't, just write me in the comments how much you hate this deck. Yeah, let's play. We are ready to play against Kenrith, the Returned King, in the mirror match. Interesting. So yeah, I think I guess I can keep this. If I get an untapped red source, it's actually turn 3 Honden of Knight's Reach, which is pretty great, I think. The reason I like this, I have Esper colors, and my whole hand is in Esper colors basically, because this is just a ritual, and I'm kind of fine with that. And like, not fine not playing that. I have a bunch of lands that I can draw. This deck doesn't really run that low on lands. Yes, I think I want to put you on. It's green or red. Interesting. I think it is red. Green. So I play very few red cards. That's why I might not want to put this on red, right? But yeah, okay. No, well, I have more green cards, but yeah, it's fine. I can still just play the Ornithopter. So I think I want black more than white. I need both anyways in the future. Okay, what are they doing? Beanstalk, ramping, sure, that is fine by me. If I draw an untapped land, I think it's a consideration to play out the Honden of Knight's Reach early. Could also just... You know what? Just get the value out of there. And black and something else. Honden of Knight's Reach, and yeah, now the opponent has to consistently discard cards. I arguably... No, I don't think there was a way, yeah. With the information I got had at the time, it didn't make a difference between Ice Storm and Glacial Floodplain. Now I kind of wish I played the Floodplain, because now I can't, like, play Mortify or Despark. It's fine though. It is fine. We basically just want to get our, like, shrines on the battlefield as fast as possible, because their effect just stacks up and up and up. I could kill this ambitious farmhand, but I think I don't want to. The backside is still killable with just 1 mana Bloodchief's Thirst, I believe, so they want to transform that, and it takes some time for them to transform it. Yeah, that's fine. Ooh, I'm kind of glad that that's out of their hand, because that's a card that just absolutely demolishes us, to be honest. Like, it is backbreaking here, don't make a mistake, right? But yeah, I'm just happy that it's out of their hand, because later on it just is absolutely brutal. If they... Yep, Kenrith, and I believe I want to play the more expensive spell here. The Despark, I like the Despark at the very least gets this big beanstalk giant out of there, right? So I'm just going to play my own Kenrith. And if they have removal, it is what it is. But yeah. Not blocking here. I don't know if they play combat tricks, right? Okay. It is giant tribal, I assume. Do we need another green? Red, blue, black, white, green. I already have 5 colors, and this is black. Sure. Only have 1 white. I only have 1 green. Probably a bit more green here. It does seem like giant tribal. At least this. Or maybe they just got this half of the deck, right? So let's see. Tranquil Giant gets hit with a Despark to clear the way for a Kenrith. I'd like to borrow time their commander. That is a good play down the road, probably, because then they have to put it back into the command zone and can't just kill the borrowed time to get it back. Well, they could put it under the border time, but then if they can't remove the border time, they never get their commander back. I would love to draw an untapped land here. Crux of Fate. Oh, yeah. Kenrith Boardwipe Tribal. I want to draw shrines here. That's what I really want to draw. I can go one-on-one on resources with them, but just having a shrine, they have a bunch of board wipes, right? But I just want just a value shrine, basically. Oh, it's shrines versus shrines. Yep. You know, good thing I have my good old friend Binding of the Old Gods to get rid of the Sanctum of All. And I think I even value the mana higher than looking into their hand. Stock, that's fine. We search our library for a forest, and this is basically any dual forest here. Sure. Let's have more white. Get rid of you. And let's just play Destiny Spinner. Honden. Yep. Gotta deal with that Honden, right? Do I need to though? They only have one shrine right now, and I kind of want to play this. Kenrith? Sure. I don't think this one will do a lot on its own right now, and I can save this border time if they have another relevant shrine there. Another removal spell would really annoy me, but I just want to untap with this Kenrith once to draw some cards, basically. Just want to draw some cards. The problem is that Kenrith also has a lot of value because I don't really have creatures that I want to bring back, but they can just bring back Beanstalk Giant over and over, and kind of. Okay. Goodbye, Kenrith. It's nice knowing you. I want a shrine that draws cards. That is what I really, really want here. Oh, that draws cards. Let's see. Oh, that's huge. It's massive. Yep. And yeah, sure. I want a ramp here. Now I would love to discard this Destiny Spinner to the canvases inside. But oh well. I'm just so glad to see this Cleansing Nova in the graveyard, because that is one of the few cards that absolutely hard counters this deck, right? Could borrow time there, Kenrith. I could sacrifice the Sterling Grove to get my Sanctum. If I don't, then my Sanctum is probably... I want to wait one turn. I have enough things to do with this Chemist's inside here right now. Yeah, don't need to cultivate, I think. Because if I have a Sterling Grove and on the field, all my... all my shrines become much more safe. So let's see what they have in hand, shall we? Time wipes. Destroy all non-creature, non-land permanents. Destroy all. What? This is so rude. This is so rude. I somehow need to deal with that. They're board wipe tribal with shrines. Okay. I think I wanna get rid of this Kenrith here. Basically, as a tempo play, I don't want to make them... I don't want to get them... have them all... have all this card draw. Also, what they just did... I know where they're going with this, but this is amazing for us. So here's what's going to happen. They put this Kenrith behind this borrow time. But then they Ondo inversion to try to get rid of the board, right? And so they now Ondo inversion have their Kenrith back. But in response to that, I can crack the Stirring Grove and put a Sanctum of All on top. Okay. We're still waiting on that play, apparently. You know what? Let's play the waiting game. I can wait, you can wait. We all can wait. Animate you. Animate you. Sure. And we swing in for a bunch of damage. And I guess they Heartless Act one of the lands here, like the Ice Tunnel. They don't. Okay. I want to be as cautious as I can with knowing that they have an Ondo inversion in hand. And I want to still have like this one untapped mana for the Stirring Grove, right? Not that it matters too much. I can also crack this in my upkeep. Okay, now it's the time. And I assume it has to be the Shrine. Right? The Sanctum, that is. Could also do Reprobation, but that doesn't do too much. They can just like time wipe, pick up their own. Yep. So the main problem is here that they go into their turn with a Kenrith on the field. Yeah, let's see. I can't just die here, honestly. I really want to top deck a removal spell. I already used some of my removal spells, right? Oh yeah, most of them actually. Oh, that's... I still have Heartless Act left, but that doesn't deal with the Kenrith. It's tricky. It is certainly tricky. Oh, I know which Sanctum I can pick here to survive. It's kind of weird, but I think I have to go for it. It's the only one that guarantees me stay alive. Yeah, sure. They want to keep up, gain life. So the one Sanctum that guarantees me to stay alive, because remember Kenrith can get trample, is the Sanctum of Tranquil Light. And with that thing I can actually tap down the Kenrith. Yeah, I think I want to crack this to draw a card. Sure, another land. And now I can tap down their Kenrith. They gain 3 life here, I assume. 5 life. Because this is already lethal, yeah. Tap you down. Beautiful. Beautiful. And now I go into a card draw shrine. Next turn, I believe. Question is which one? So there has been an original Kamigawa shrine cycle, and then there has been the M21. Oh, okay, I just died to that. Yeah, and then they give the Beanstalk haste. I misplayed then. I shouldn't have. I think I had enough mana to tap this twice then. But yeah, this would have been really taxing on my mana. Don't think there was a way how... okay. Yeah, my bad. So if I didn't crack the ladder, I could have tapped this down as well. GG. We already play against a Sarek, the Archlich, and Mono Black has a hard time dealing with enchantments. I do like the check for traps, but Hero's Downfall is not particularly effective against them. I guess I can just... So it's a turn 3 Cultivate. Yeah. Oh yes, this is what I want to see. It's a Shrine that draws cards, it's a Tutor, it's land drops. I'm gonna keep this. So I'm putting this on white, so if I draw any untapped land, I can play Birth of Peleus immediately. What do they take? Idyllic Tutor, I believe, right? That's at least what I would have taken here. Arrow, that's reasonable as well. Oh, now that is unfortunate, I'd say. Birth of Peleus, get an untapped land. Yep. Get the non-snow. And now I want to draw a red or a blue source. Either one basically is fine. A Sarek is fine. Red or blue source, Honden. This Sanctum exactly doesn't work, kinda. Aren't you unfortunate? Sure. I'm going to grab the Sanctum of Fruitful Harvest to hope. I just need to hit any land drop here to make consistent land drops, and after that I'm super fine with just... I'm gonna play the Sanctum because now I can actually just generate mana. Okay, Duress Familiar. Probably want to deal with that with the Infernal Grasp, so they can't just spam a Serex. That's the one card in the deck that can deal with enchantments. That is extremely unfortunate. Okay. It is a Honden of Seeing Winds. I probably want to play that on curve. Yeah. Unfortunate. Unfortunate. Sarek gets played twice again. So they get a treasure and then they scry too. That's fine. They have another land drop, they can play a Sarek another time. And then go into the Runestone Cabins for value. If I draw specifically a black source, a red source, a lot of things would work here. Oh, okay. Yeah. Now I'm just going Infernal Grasp. I really don't want their Sarek to be cheap. And now I start discarding their hand with the ImNotFine's Reach. Okay, Liliana is actually kind of fine. I just need to get a red source, and then target player discards sacrifices a Planeswalker. I'm super fine with that, actually. So they can discard a Sarek, and yeah, sure, it's fine. Ooh, tempting, very, very tempting. What do they have in it? I want to know what they kept there, basically. Okay. That just absolutely did nothing whatsoever. It's good information though, but unfortunate.
Putrid, but effective.
Sarek enters, draw. I was thinking maybe that they paradox there. The good thing is I get to... Yeah. So they have to discard a Sarek. Yeah, they're just going down in cards very quickly. I don't think they will be ever be able to play this Ulamog before it gets discarded. And no way. I don't see that Ulamog happening. Yep. That is an untapped green. Yeah, so I want to get a red source and a blue source, I assume, right? Put card on the battlefield. This goes on the battlefield. You wanna have this in my hand. Sure, you sacrifice the Planeswalker. And now I'm in control, to be honest. Yep. Enters. And now they draw 3. Oh yeah, reveal them and one of them without paying the mana cost. I assume that's just Chandler's Edict. And I wanna just kill one of these just so I can have a little bit less pressure on me. Okay, this is a pretty good situation to be in still. Okay. I draw cards. Neat. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in total. Yeah, I can play Kenrith to go with it, basically. I think that's what I want to do here. I could also just ramp. Very, very tempting. So ramp versus Kenrith. So the way I want to do this is... Yeah. I know how. Okay. So we do Sanctum. We do Hurricane. Land. Open. One of them has to be green, the other one doesn't matter. And then we play... Yeah, we just fully ramp here. And so the one half of the shrines is old, one of the half of the shrines is new. Basically these are like old shrines from Kamigawa, and these trigger on each upkeep. And then there are some, except the Sanctum. Oh no! You can't be serious. This was awful. I am in shock. Not that it matters. They still got rid of the Ulamog, but... Oh. Ooh, massive. Yeah, and then there is some that just don't trigger an upkeep and have different effects, so you can put in at the beginning of main phase 1 effect into play with Sanctum and it still triggers on your own turn to finish off what I wanted to say there, basically. So I probably just want to draw cards, but I have to play the Sanctum, right? Yeah. And then, sure, let's not overthink this. Just play one of them. And I can actually kill some creatures here. They can't kill my Kenrith because, oh yeah, both Wretched Bomb. Wait, Wretched Bomb. That's it's mana value equal. This is 4. Yeah, I don't think they will ever just like outvalue me, because what ends up happening here is they have to basically play their hand or discard it. I just draw a bunch of cards. I draw a bunch of lands, so I just basically wipe their board clean and I just swing at their face. So that's a GG. We are ready to play against the first sliver, and we just want a bunch of interaction, and the opponent goes first. That's exactly not what we want to see. It's mulligan. Well, that's reasonable. Ooh. Yeah. That's a really great draw, actually. Now my Anger's Rampage is active. I want to make them sack here. And then I can still just Heartless act the sliver when it comes down. Well, I would have loved to sacrifice that. Bunch of options, actually. I could check for traps, see what they have in hand. I could. And then the question is, do I want to play the Sanctum or not? I think I don't need to play the Sanctum right now. Yeah, let's just check for some traps. Oh yeah, get you out of the way, that's a value engine. I like how my hand is black, white, black, white, black. Lines up pretty nicely. Okay. So this is interesting. I could go for double Honden. I sure do like that, I think. And that's white, black. Sanctum. Honden of Night's Reach. And now they have to start discarding, eventually. The problem is now they can actually play their... they drew the black source. I really hope for them that they had to discard the sliver. Okay. Discard you. Idyllic Tutor. And then we go for... which shrine do we go for? We can't go for green. I do like one of the blue ones. We could also go for a red one, but no. And then the question is which blue one. So this one is one cheaper. So if we draw one untapped source, the Heartless Act is active as well. If they draw land here. But I'm just going to gamble that I don't like for this to be punished. I need to top deck a land, and they also need to top deck a land. Okay. But it's not a land that they can play the first sliver off, so that is great. So now I start drawing cards. First sliver enters the battlefield. That is completely fine. That is actually a good one for me. Yeah. So they bunk me for each turn, which might seem scary. I think I want to just double removal spell here. So Binding of the Old Gods, destroy the first sliver. And then I'm just going to do the same thing again, right? Yep. And then later on I'm going to play Kenrith to then yep, first sliver enters. That is a Realm Walker, sure. Yep. Please stay off this battlefield. Thank you very much, first sliver. It seems like they do not enjoy dying, or like getting their creatures removed. Let's grab a forest out of the deck. We do have 2 blue, that's usually enough. It will also be have enough white. It doesn't matter too much, to be perfectly honest. And let's not die here. That is the crucial turn, because then we can start gaining life with this Kenrith. This is the one crucial turn, because they currently don't have lethal on board, actually. So... and they surrender. It seems they don't enjoy this very much. But yeah, so what ended up happening here is I got to remove one card. That's probably the Realm Walker for value, or maybe the first sliver, kind of depends. And then now my shrines take over the game, and I just use Kenrith to gain a bunch of life to stabilize. GG. We are done with the games. I hope you enjoyed them as much as I did. And yeah, Kenrith Returned King as a shrine deck is a pretty strong budget option in my opinion. So again, the budget of this deck currently is 2 mythics and 4 rares if you include the commander. And these 4 rares and mythics are just there to search Sanctum of All, which is an amazing shrine and basically the payoff for your deck. So I think these are pretty great. If you have crafted them, Search for Glory is probably the least important one out of them, because you use this in the least other decks. Grim Tutor is just great and just black decks. If you want to play this deck, you need a Sanctum of All, right? You kind of really want that card. And then if you have an Idyllic Tutor and a Sterling Grove, you can also just look to get into Enchantress decks from there. So yeah, that's pretty great in my opinion. The rest of the deck, I think, performed quite nicely. I'm still kind of mad at myself for that misplay in game 1. I think we could have gotten a real cool grindy match, and it would have been nice to just basically beat the non-budget version with this budget deck. But alas. If you want to upgrade this specific deck, what do you want? And basically look at game 1. Just play board wipes, hopefully board wipes that don't kill your shrines, right? You don't want those, but board wipes go a long way. You want non-creature based ramp to go with your board wipes, because creature based ramp dies to your board wipes, so you don't want that happening. So I would cut the creature based ramp. I would add in non-creature based ramp. I would add in more interaction and board wipes, and that is basically how I would upgrade this deck. The most important way to upgrade this deck, however, is probably lands. You want all the shock lands, and from there you can either get check lands or slow lands, but shock lands is really what you want to get for this deck. Like the mana consistency, I think the mana is actually pretty fine here color-wise, but it could be just a lot better. And I also made some concessions in the deck to this mana base. For example, I only have 3 cards that cost double mana on, like, there are some nice budget cards that we just can't cast because their mana cost is too restrictive. So with a better mana base, that is not a problem anymore. And also keep in mind, you're going to need lands, so I think the safest craft overall for your collection would be lands to upgrade this deck. And if you want to specifically upgrade this deck, some board wipes also can't hurt. And yeah, that's where you want to be with this deck. Hope you enjoyed this list. Also, just tell me in the comments if you enjoy these budget kinds of decks. It is fun making them. I have a hard time finding good ones. That is the main problem. Because there are not many commanders that can just function on, like, basically almost function at max power to at a very low rare and mythic wildcard cost, basically. But yeah, I had a lot of fun making this deck. Hope you had a lot of fun watching this video. Maybe you learned 1 or 2 things, and I will see you tomorrow.